Good morning, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This morning, I am your host. My name is Robin. Welcome to Relationship Cake and Ice Cream. And today, I'm going to be speaking about monogamy. Yes, that word is so foreign nowadays to so many people. But let's talk about monogamy as it relates to relationships. Okay. I'm feeling good this morning. I hope everybody out there is feeling good and whatnot. And this morning I was watching one of these Dr. Phil reruns, and I had this topic on my mind for days. But after I watched this show, it really made me feel like I need to go ahead and address this thing called monogamy. There was this married man on there because the show really talked about him and his infidelity. Apparently, he had this friend for 12 years, maybe more. But apparently, him and this woman, it was a woman, have been friends since high school. And even in high school, they have been, boyfriend, girlfriend, and lovers. And she had apparently stayed in his life so much so she was now the godmother to his two children by his wife over the years. Let me backtrack a little. He, met another woman and he got married. Okay, so him and his wife had two children, and this woman wound up being the godmother to those children. Also, she was in their wedding. Okay. But during this whole time, apparently, the husband and this friend, who now is supposed to be a family friend, she was also friendly with the wife, were having sex. Now, they only admit to 3 times, possibly over the 12 years. Well, I don't believe them. Okay, probably was way more than that, but that's all they were willing to admit to. And apparently, this friend ended up getting pregnant one night, in which she claims that she didn't even want to have sex with him that night. Matter of fact, she says that she told him no at the end, not at the beginning of the sexual encounter. She told him no at the end. Okay, so, woo, I'm feeling good today. Anyway, let me see, where was I at? So anyway, this woman had a baby, and after she got pregnant, I can't even get it out good. Bear with me. After she got pregnant, she says after all this time having sex with this married man, her being the mistress, okay, because I have to put some labels on it and call it what it is, although, a lot of people don't like labels. It is what it is. Then she says the man forced himself on her. All right. Right at the moment of conception, okay, is when all of a sudden the man forced himself on her during that particular sexual encounter. All right. But this podcast is not about them because that situation probably occurs more than we know. And all I can say about it is it's just so out of what we believe that a relationship is going to be. So let's talk about monogamy. Is monogamy a realistic expectation, especially in 2020 when um it seems like people are free to exercise themselves sexually any way they wish. All right. I don't know. Can people be monogamous? Is monogamy something today that we should expect? Or is infidelity something that occurs so often we should look at monogamy and realize that for most people, it's just not something that is going to exist? Maybe I think, well, let me give you my take on the whole monogamy situation. I think a lot of times when we're young, we all have been conditioned in many ways, whether it's by what we see at home on TV. I believe we have been conditioned to believe that when we grow up, we're going to get married, women to the man of their dreams, and men to, it's like Cinderella's story, okay? And I think we are conditioned to believe that we're going to live happily ever after with our spouses, okay, as we grow up. In a relationship, we expect that we're going to be that one, that only, that exclusive partner to our partners. That's what we believe. And ultimately, what usually happens is once the relationship progresses, whether it's to marriage or total commitment to each other, what usually happens is you start to experience real life, the challenges that being in a relationship is going to present. Usually, sometime, I believe a lot of people become focused on or enjoy maybe the attention that they may get from the opposite sex, and before you know it, they're caught up. Me, I'm a believer that spending time creates the relationship. Getting to know somebody creates the relationship. Not being fully committed creates the relationship. You may not even realize that you're not fully committed, that you're looking for something else. I heard a man, and this is a TV actor who recently was on one of these talk shows and whatnot. I heard him say that the woman he was with, he thought he was in love with. But when his wife came along, okay, the woman that he eventually married, he learned what real love really is. I thought that was interesting because he didn't feel like he had cheated on the girlfriend. He just felt like when this other woman came, she showed him a different experience. And he experienced a different type of love with her. And that is the woman that became his wife. So maybe sometime what we consider cheating is not cheating. Maybe it's just growing. But I think monogamy is something that has to be discussed. Um, if you're going to be in an exclusive relationship, you have to talk about monogamy. You have to talk about infidelity. You have to talk about what happens if certain things occur. Like, if you want to be monogamous, but you feel like you're not going to be able to maintain that, then you need to speak up. Okay, things happen, people change, new experiences, your mind may shift, you got a new awakening, you saw something, you read something sparked your interest, whatever it is. But I believe that most people go into these relationships believing that they're going to be monogamous. But I also believe that as far as that sexual experience going, men, I think, are a lot more sexual than most women. That's just my belief. I could be wrong. I think women get lose some of their sexuality, especially when they get pregnant. Their emotions are a lot of times all over the place. When a new baby come, they have a new responsibility that they feel like they have to give all their attention to. And of course, a brand new baby requires your full 100% attention. I know, because I'm a mother 4 times. So they do require your attention. A lot of times, in that circumstance, the your partner, your husband, may feel that he's being neglected. When you get into bed at night, you're tired. He wants sex. You want sleep. Okay, the sex sleep problem. He wants sex. You want sleep. Okay, you're tired. So of course that creates a problem in itself because you want him to be understanding. Okay, he wants you to be understanding about his needs. You want him to be compassionate, understanding about your needs. There's no middle ground. Both of you are unhappy. It's tension. You want sleep. He wants sex. You don't know how to balance it. You can't figure it out. Neither one of you want to discuss it. He's angry. You're upset. Okay, so let's just say that is the situation, and let's say your husband has a co-worker at work that gives him a lot of attention, brings him coffee every day. When she's going to lunch, she asks him, does he want anything? She may get him something, come back, they eat together, they talk a little bit about their life. Next thing you know, they eyeing each other for possible intimacy, because ultimately all your husband is looking for is intimacy. Okay, you want that same intimacy, but you just don't want it as sex at the moment. Okay, so then monogamy becomes the issue. All right, he may love you to death. In about 6, 7, 8 months, you may go back to being your old self. You exercise, you lose that belly if you got one while you was carrying that baby. Next thing you know, you feel like your old sexually aroused self. You feel sensual again. Okay, now he's feeling like the bad guy because he has sex with this woman. Break your heart, hurt your feelings when you find out. Okay, but I think when it comes to monogamy, I think monogamy is a choice. Let me just say that you have to want to be monogamous. You have to care enough about another person to be monogamous. Me, I don't buy any of that. It was a mistake. I was drunk. A drunk is just an excuse. Okay, you put yourself in a situation where you're drunk. You go sleep with somebody else. That becomes your excuse. You probably want to sleep with that person anyway, but that's your excuse. Anytime you introduce anything new into the relationship, like a change of life, like, a baby, somebody loses a family member, it changes the dynamics of the relationship a lot of times, and it may change for months. Babies require a lot of attention, like I said, and sometimes your partner may not feel like being sexually active. She might not feel like that sensual human being. It doesn't mean that you should go out and have sex with someone else and be unfaithful. But I don't know if today if monogamy is a reality. Sometimes I think it's just wishful thinking. So many people are breaking up, and most of it have to do with cheating. So maybe monogamy is not something anymore that we have to look forward to, especially if we won't talk about it. So, thank you for listening to me as I rambled on today about monogamy. But I hope I have motivated some of you to really take a good hard look at your relationship before you get committed. Okay? Enjoy your day. Thank you for listening. Bob and Moses, relationship cake and ice cream, and I'm out.